Hey, I want to talk about wisdom versus what I call applicable wisdom. So I think there's three different kinds of smart. There's intelligence, knowledge, and wisdom, and we don't have time to talk about all three. Today we're talking about wisdom. And I hear the older generation say things like, oh, why doesn't the younger generation listen to the wisdom of older people anymore? And I think it's not because the older generation isn't wise, it's because their wisdom isn't applicable anymore. So if this was 1,000 years ago and your dad was a blacksmith, chances are when he dies, you become the blacksmith. You are Henry, the blacksmith's son, so you should really listen to your dad because all of the wisdom and knowledge that he's obtained over the years is incredibly applicable to you because chances are you're gonna live the exact same life as your father, if not incredibly similar. Unless it just so happens to be that you were born during a time of a great technological advancement, like, oh hey dad, steam power was just invented. But with technology and the rate at which the world is changing, you probably live in a virtually completely different world than your father did 30 years ago. Even in professions that are still inherited, like let's say your dad passes down the family restaurant to you, kind of looking back at the blacksmith example, we all know that the restaurant industry looks completely different in the year 2025 post pandemic than it did in the year 2000. Even if we take it away from professions and look at something like romance, that knowledge and wisdom probably isn't very useful to you either. Because it's like, have you seen a movie from the 1970s? And it's like, oh yeah, back in the day, I just used to throw stones at the window of Mary Beth Sue, and I did that for 2 years, and eventually I wore her down and she married me. It's like, you can't do that anymore. That's creepy, old man. And by the way, I'm not trying to dunk on old people. I fully acknowledge that in 20, 30 years from now, those of us who can afford to have children in this economy, like our knowledge and wisdom isn't going to be applicable to them either. So while wisdom isn't useless, the time frame in which it's useful and applicable is getting shorter and shorter by each passing day.